Hi everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. I'm here to do a reading, actually quite a lot of readings. We've got a lot to get through today. First up, thank you for your donations to the channel. Also, thank you for your kind comments about my readings and about everything to do with this channel. They are greatly appreciated. Okay, the next thing I wanted to say was around white replacement theory, which has, of course, that kind of extremism that you would see in places like the Middle East are rearing its head in the US, but also to a lesser extent in other Western democracies. This isn't new. In the French election, there was a French politician who basically said the same thing in regard to immigrants. We're being replaced by immigrants. So the question is, what do we do about it as a society? Well, first of all, my deepest condolences to anyone impacted or affected by that shooting in Buffalo. The young boy had been turned through reading things on 4chan, other social media extremist sites, including Fox News, or Fox, I should say, Tucker Carlson et al., around this white replacement theory. It is abhorrent to the majority of us, and I did see a clip and shout out to, I should give him give you his name. Shout out to the Uber, or I think he was an Uber driver, who picked up a white couple. This was on Twitter, and there was footage of them getting into the car saying, "Oh, thank God you're white." And he said, "What? What did you say?" And he immediately evicted them from the car. The woman couldn't believe that she was being evicted from the car. And of course, the husband threatened to punch the driver's head in, etc. In the end, the driver was unharmed and exercised his right not to have racist white people in his car. Or racist anybody in his car. Okay, so I just want to say that in the light of that hate crime, I'm not even going to say alleged, that in light of that, what is looking like a hate crime and will probably be prosecuted as such, the majority of us find this the majority of people like me and like that driver find this cause to stand up and be counted and say no to racism. And a very emphatic, clear no to racism. All right, let's get started with the energy for the week. I've been talking about this extremism. It's probably going to come out in these cards, and therefore that's what it's going to do. Let's take a look at the week ahead. The underlying energy, please, whether it's in the US, extremism in Australia, extremism in the UK. They're having that argument there about the way they treat their immigrants, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Russia, whether it's in Israel toward the Palestinians, wherever. It's not acceptable. And we do not have to turn the other cheek. I'm not advocating violence. I'm saying you say no, you've crossed a boundary, just like the driver did. Okay, underlying energy, please. So we have the arrow, the aim. The arrow, aim is swift, aim is true, aim is targeted. In a way, it's a solution. Our words and our actions must be tightly focused, tightly targeted to hit where it needs to go. And this is to stamp out the kinds of this kind of extremism, this kind of authoritarian, my way or no way at all. This lack of compassion, this violence. Now's our time to act. Now's our time to stand up and be counted, whether that's on taking away women's choice, or whether it's on racism, or whether it's standing up and saying we do not support the violence that we're seeing Russian soldiers and Putin commit, the blade, the truth. The truth will always be stronger. Will always be stronger. And for those disenchanted, young people disenchanted, sitting in their basements, or doesn't have to be young, and reading about these things and trying to find justifications in biblical passages for them or whatever, you know, it's your lack of compassion, your lack of tolerance, your narrow views. The truth is you're ignorant to try and force those views on us. Jaguar. So I have a feeling that a lot of this, let's just call it extremism, is being outed and seen for what it is. We have a way to go yet, otherwise we'd have a tolerant society and this wouldn't even be a question. But I feel that we are getting more and more to the tipping point where enough of us will know that we need to stand up and say this isn't acceptable. And when we do that, we make these people accountable. And so just as they slid out from the depths, the bowels of wherever they were during the Trump years, who said it was okay, to say these things, to members of the US Congress on the Republican aisle, saying things like it's okay for immigrant babies to starve. That is Stefanik, the New York Republican, whom I don't think will be in office for much longer. Tree of Life. This is all about cycles. It's all about the way that we evolve and the way that we have evolved from the millennium. The drum, creating space, the vision quest. This is extremely important, critical time. The serpent shedding skins. We are, in a way, through our narrow views, through our lack of compassion, through lack of protecting human life, through our violence, through our sanctioning of war, whatever it is, closing borders, turning away people who are hungry, starving, and are knocking on our door for help. Whatever the situation is, it's about healing our society. And it is part of the flow, and it is part of healing all those parts of ourselves that have been disowned. And so that is at the higher level what we're doing now as well. Okay, let's get into the questions. I'll start. Where do I start? It's also by bringing the microphone closer. Where do I start? Okay, so I think I'll start over in the US with this extremism, because that is also begetting violence, and so the extremism, whether they're talking about pedo criminals, pedo Dems, owning the libs, as Elon Musk said. I warned you about him. He may well be a clever scientist type man, but he is saying some very, very divisive Trumpian-like things at this time. So no, I can't trust that. So we all know where that division leads us. All right, so going to the US, to the extremists, the January 6th committee, we know that the DOJ is working alongside the January 6th committee in their investigations of the attempted coup on January the 6th. An attempted coup in a democracy the size of the US in 2021. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. That's how much work we've got to do. So the leader of the Republicans in the House, Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, we all know about him, et al. They have been subpoenaed to appear before the committee. I want to know if they have, and it's a simple question, if the January 6th committee have evidence that the one or more of these people knew about an attempted coup, those who have been subpoenaed or those who haven't on the Republican side, do they have evidence which says these people, these Republicans, whether it's McCarthy, Jordan or someone else, had prior knowledge that the attempted coup would take place? So did these Republicans, does January the 6th have evidence that these Republicans knew about the attempted coup before it happened? Knight of Pentacles. So this talks about reliability. It talks about sustainability. It talks about a thorough, slow-moving, persistent energy. Queen of Rods. Queen of Rods, the woman. So I think that this attempted coup, or their knowledge of it, had been slow burning, as we know, months ahead, probably from even before the election took place. This was an alternative plan, because we know that the attempts to slow down the mail service, the sowing of the seeds of the big lie that the election was rigged, that started to come out of Trump's mouth midway through 2020 or even before. So that's what that Knight of Pentacles speaks to me about. However, we have this Queen of Rods energy. Now, this is, it can be a female, but also male. It talks about, it could even be Liz Cheney and her and others on the committee. This is an energy, this Queen of Rods. It says, I will stand up to you. I will keep going. I am passionate about this. I am committed about this. And I won't stop until I get my answers. Now we have the Eight of Swords here. So this is about restriction, blindfolds, worry, mental anguish. So restriction here could be those that have been subpoenaed, could be the need, the actions of the committee to try and stop this ever occurring again. Now in the past, we have the card for Trump and his acolytes and his cult, the lovers. It always turns up when we're talking about those closest to Trump who are doing his bidding or his will or have signed on to his agenda for whatever their reasons. So their connection with him is clear. Now in the sky we have death. I think that there is at least one Republican member who knew about those bombs being planted in the sky, who knew that if there was such a so chaotic that the counting of the votes would have to be stopped. And my question was, do they have advanced knowledge? They are... Well, I think their work has been methodical, but there's a lot riding on this. In the immediate future, we have the Ace of Swords, and that was the card I was looking for. This is great clarity. Great clarity. So we see their determined efforts are being fueled, if you like, by a motivation to get to the truth, and they don't fear anybody in doing this. But I also see that somebody had some sort of knowledge of the chaos which may ensue, which may stop the counting. The truth is emerging. I don't know why people think it won't, because it will. Now, it always does. The Four of Cups here in the here and now. So that we've lost 3 cups here, but we also have 1 cup remaining. They have something in that cup. They have something quite strong in that cup. Now we have wish fulfillment and gain, generally gain. So what's in that cup? what they wish for. I asked, do they have evidence? The Sun card, full illumination in the hopes and fears. This is what that committee is going for. It's been a while since I've read on it. They want full illumination of the truth, and they're not going to stop until they get justice. That's a very clear outcome card to my question. Do they have the evidence that somebody knew what was planned before it happened? And you know what happens when that occurs? They can then be charged of knowing that a crime was going to be committed and not doing anything to stop it. And that's the outcome card that I get. Clarified by the King of Swords, which is the investigator and the prosecutor and the DOJ. The DOJ already has this. The Nine of Pentacles talks about luxury, money, even changing hands. So they were, I don't know who it is, but at least one of them or more had knowledge. We've got at the base of the pack, we've got victory, we've got the Four of Pentacles from the word go. They wanted to hold back the information. They even sought pardons. Why do you seek a pardon before Trump left office if you have nothing to fear, if you've not done anything wrong? And we've got these bombshells. This has been quite the investigation, and they have this evidence that that was my question, one or more knew about what was being planned to create maximum chaos to stop the certification of the votes. Let's see where that leads us, because I also think the DOJ have this evidence as well. No wonder they are so concerned. No wonder they are worried now. All right, now I want to go to, before we get much further into this, I'm just going to go straight to two things regarding the Russian-Ukraine invasion. Now, again, this is such a critical time. I said that Putin wanted to win in my last reading, and I said that it had something to do with the sea. I felt it would be a full-on assault on Odessa, trying to claim that coast. Ukraine is continually pushing Russians out of that eastern part. In fact, in one area, Ukrainian soldiers, bless them, have gone all the way to the border of Ukraine and Russia. So, at great cost, cost. Also, thank you to the viewer that sent me the email and the clip of Ukraine winning the Eurovision contest. I saw that. I was just so happy for Ukraine. There's so much emotion, and support coming for those Ukrainians. Now, there's been a couple of... So, what I wanted to say about the sea... Russia has moved all its submarines out of their docks or out of where they're berthed into the Black Sea, all of them. And so that tells me there's going to be cruise missiles launched from those subs in an attempt to take that eastern coast, Black Sea coastline. Now, we can ask if they will be successful. But I also want to go to Putin's health. There is a story in Business Week, I think it is. Well, it's cropping up more and more around Putin's health, that he has blood cancer. This also came from the Ukrainian intelligence. We should not underestimate Ukrainian intelligence, because they are on the ground, most likely in touch with the Russian resistance here. So Putin's health and an attempted coup are the two, I guess, things that are getting more and more talked about, if you like, in certain circles that are following or that have an inside track on this. So let's first go to Putin's health. Does he have, I'm just going to say, a serious health problem? I have read on this before. I have seen that he has this. I don't know if it's blood cancer, but there is something quite fundamentally wrong. I thought about Parkinson's and steroid use. Mostly you're on steroids if you do have cancer, to control inflammation. So let's have a look at, does Putin have a serious health problem? Or does Putin have... Yeah, it's serious. Does he have a serious health problem? I don't believe he's going to be here much longer than a year. Now, we have the Five of Swords, the abuse. Not only has he abused others, but he's abused himself as well. And we've got the World card and a major ending and a beginning. This is a reading for Putin, the World card, major arcana. Here we get the Tower. Now remember, I pulled the Tower for him and I said, be careful, Putin, this Tower could be you. This Tower is for him. King of Cups in the past. You know, this is my card for Joe Biden. And I am going to say that had it not been for US intervention, US help, US support of Ukraine, this could have been a different outcome for us all. The High Priestess, you know she comes along when something comes that we're not expecting. A secret to be revealed. And in the immediate future, the Ace of Cups. So this speaks to... major endings. Well, we'll keep going. Major endings and new beginnings. And this question is around Putin's health. I mean, I don't wish him to pass away, but he's got the Tower card. Something major is coming for him. Now we have the Five of Wands. It's probably picking up a coup attempt, which I think is actually already begun. The Fool card, new starts. I read... oh gosh, maybe a year ago. You can Google my Russian readings, which actually said there's life for Russia after Putin, and it's a whole lot better. Will something come that's worse than Putin? No. After Putin, Russia, in order to save itself, really knows that it has to come into the 21st century. It has to come in and embrace 2022 and beyond. Otherwise, it is going backwards. So we have this partisanship, but we have the Fool saying there's a new start there. In the hopes and fears, we have walking a tightrope. There's a decision that he is making, Putin's making as well. And we've got a bombshell here. Something's coming, and the Moon. Something big is coming up soon. Around Vladimir Putin's health. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Now, the Tower card. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that, and I do want to ask one more question beyond this, at least. The Tower. What's the Tower card here for? This is a question on Putin's health. And the Page of Cups talks about something coming out that's going to surprise us. The Moon card talks about the shadows. The Nine of Wands. I think this is both his health and a coup attempt here. The Ten of Pentacles. Oh yeah, this is the card I was looking for. The Four of Swords. Ill health in this reading. You know, this is also the oligarchs. The oligarchs wanting to rid themselves of him. So we have here the Eight of Wands. We're going to hear about this quite soon. And the Knight of Cups. He could have even, been slowly poisoned. We don't know. This is the world of barbarianism that rules in Russia. And this is why it can't be successful. So let's follow that up to a coup, because there were coup cards in that as well. Russia's Vladimir Putin apparently started out wanting to embrace the West, but Russia, being the country that it is, not united in a way, he then moved toward more and more authoritarianism to stay in control. We've got the Tower card in relation to his health. So, it's not the face that I see. It's not the face of a living person who is going to be here for a long time. So is there an active coup now in the Kremlin with the oligarchs, parts of the FSB, parts of the military? Is there an active coup, Queen of Cups. I keep getting her. Female close to him. Is there an active coup to remove Putin from office or assassinate him? I think it's an assassination. Is there an active coup to remove Putin from power? I might add the star card has overturned in this deck, the hope. So we have here the Two of Pentacles came up in the hopes and fears. This is making a decision. This is making a decision that will impact everybody. Restriction, worry. This is like for those around him, they are really concerned that he has lost the plot. The Magician card, manipulation. I keep getting drawn to that cup. Manipulation, manifestation. Manifestation of what? A coup. The High Priestess, it's already underway. It is already underway. And we have the Five of Wands. Remember these cards coming up in my previous question around his health. The Five of Wands talks about warring factions, competition. And we've got the New Start. There's my yes card. There is a coup underway right now. Now, there's heavy decisions to be made. Do we take him out now or do we not? Can we take him out now or will he... It's a question of where the power fulcrum, I think is the word, where it sits and where it tilts. Is it in their favour or does Putin still hold that power? Because this is, planning a coup and enacting a coup is highly risky in a place like Russia. So Five of Pentacles, this is both the soldiers, this is both the economy. You see the choices the Russians have in front of them. They don't want this war. They're not committed to it. They don't want to be taken any further into it. They're struggling with their economy, struggling to even with their military equipment. The Nine of Swords. You see these cards. You see these cards. High levels of anxiety in this deck, which is the Morgan Greer deck. We've got our hands tied and all these swords are above us. Now the outcome card is the Ace of Pentacles. This is yes. And it's coming from the Oligarchs 3. Oligarchs. FSB, which is the KGB, former KGB, and inside the Kremlin in the military. And there is a commitment and a pact. These are my outcome cards. And the Seven of Pentacles. Review, plan B. Okay, so they are Seven of Swords, deceit, lies, stealing. And they want more moderation. They want more evenness. This is a man that has gone too far and they want him out. We've got the Sun card here, full illumination and victory. And there's our World card again. So how is this all going to end? It's going to end in the way that I predicted it would in August 20. When did I do that reading? 2020? The final chapter in the book is Putin is removed from office. He has health issues, physical and psychological health issues. His power is at a tipping point, and as soon as they find that balance becomes in their favour, they move and they strike. And this is not, I don't see a person that's long for this world. Okay, a quick pull on those Black Sea subs, seeing as I saw that it was an offensive via the sea to take Odessa and that coastline. Cruise missiles from the submarines. Does he plan on attacking the coastal areas of Ukraine with these submarines? What's he planning? Can you show me what is he planning? The star is still overturned, so anyone who's watching this needs to I'll pull that out, needs to understand that I never saw Ukraine failing. He's going to attack with those nuclear submarines. So the Tower card is both for him and also for what he plans to do in that Black Sea. Now we have Judgment and Inevitability card here. He could cross a line there. He could cross a line. Now, the Four of Pentacles, holding back something. Insecurity, holding back something. Dominion, also power. That's what he wants. The Two of Wands, a plan that comes to fruition in time. It's in the past position. But we also have retreat here. Wound, that's the potential retreat. He may not yet carry that out. And that might be what will tip the hand of the let's just call them the Russian resistance, those plotting against him, could be to stop him launching this attack from the Black Sea. The Page of Rods, information moving forward. He may have a slight gain in the Black Sea. The past in the here and now, something around the past, but that's our higher selves as well. But we have the truth, the Ace of Swords, great clarity. These are two good cards, along with the Star card, that these atrocities are not in the future. Any atrocities in the future in relation to Russia and Ukraine are not foregone. Now we have in the hopes and fears, betrayal. We have wounded. We have almost even divorce as well. And we have the Knight of Pentacles in the outcome. So that is sustainable, slow-moving effort. The Three of Pentacles could be those plotting to take him out, but could also be the third party that I talked about. Now, who is that third party? Could even be Belarus. The Knight of Swords, yeah. So he's looking to bring in more soldiers. He's not going to give up. I feel that somebody or something will stop him from doing too much more through this kind of coup attempt. So this is where we are with it at the moment. Page of Swords, there's a spy in the camp. There's a spy in the camp. And we've got the Five of Swords here, and we do have Temperance coming up. Now, I talked about this unfolding, and these are the cards that I pulled with the coup attempt. This unfolding as this was taking place. So they're my readings today. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me, for taking part in the reading. You know, sometimes it's like putting a jigsaw together. And I think, I think that, I may not be right, but certainly those cards, I could be wrong, but I could be right. Certainly those cards around Putin's, really all the pulls were quite insightful. You use your own intuition, make up your own mind, see where you come out with this. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your lovely donations, and I'll be back with another reading soon. And I think the next reading I do will look at some broad kind of themes around extremism, around this critical replacement BS, around a move toward independence. Certainly we're seeing in Australia and also in the UK, where people moving away from towards third parties. We also have talk of a third party in the US, which of course would split the Republican vote. So let's see where all of this is going to lead us, because we've got this huge mountain to climb to get our society back on track. And to do that, we're in the truth emerging stage, the action stage. And once we have that action and we win, in a way, for basic boundaries that people can't cross, like can't pick up a gun and go and murder 10 black people because you have bought into extremism on the internet. Where do we draw the line, and how do we manage this? Anyway, let's take another look later on in the week. Bye for now.